some angry parents in the state of New Jersey, and there's going to be angry parents all across America if this is the template for reforming education in this country. Education has been one of the big pillars of the progressive movement, the Democratic Party, for decades. Can we agree on that? But you see, that too is under attack by the conservatives. America's newest Republican golden boy, New Jersey Governor Christie, is trying to build his political chops on the backs of public school teachers and poor kids in his state. After spending the last week just basking in the sun, basking in the glow of the national media, Christie came back to New Jersey to break out his education reform agenda. Christie's attack on the teachers include what? Well, let's scale back the pensions, tighten the standards, and stripping teachers of tenure. Well, this is how Christie described tenure for bad teachers.
Your performance was awful. You didn't do what we asked you to do. You didn't produce the product we wanted you to produce. But we don't look at that. All we look at is, are you still breathing?
Yeah, you still breathing. You know, the arrogance just drips off this guy. He's just broad brushing the whole situation. This spring, Christie proposed cutting public education by $820 million. Now he wants to be judge, jury, and executioner for New Jersey's 113,000 school teachers. Christie claims he's not going after teachers. You see, he has a bigger target.
I do not bash teachers. I bash their stubborn, self-interested union.
Union. That's what it's all about. Union busting. Christie and the rest of the Republicans have been on a 40-year crusade to destroy organized labor in America. And I don't believe that Christie cares about what kind of education New Jersey kids receive. This is all about the almighty dollar and power. Christie wants to give, listen up, $1 billion in tax breaks to the top 2% while he threatens the jobs of middle-class teachers. The average New Jersey school teacher makes $57,467 a year. Christie wants to throw them under the bus and base salary teacher and make it all on teacher, strictly on merit pay. Here it is.
Any type of compensation based on anything but merit should be gone. In other words, if you have a salary guide or a compensation policy that rewards seniority, that you get paid just because you're there another year and you get paid more and more and more every year you're there, we should pass a law in New Jersey that prohibits seniority being a basis for compensation alone.
Just because you're there, you get more and more and more. I've talked to educators in New Jersey that say that's not the way it is. Christie's draconian approach to education puts pressure on teachers to be absolutely 100% responsible for their students across the board. Now, ask yourself the question, folks. Are teachers, should they be responsible for the product that comes into the classroom? You know, the one thing about public education is when the door is open, everybody's welcome. Here come the gifted, here come the challenged, here come the rich, here come the poor. And Christie is going to make it so the teachers are going to be responsible for what kind of home life the kids have. You know, single moms who might be having some personal issues, don't have the money, the dad hasn't been around. How many of those situations are out across, not only in New Jersey, but across America? Let's not ignore the fact that the structure of the family in this country has changed dramatically over the last several decades. And so now to come up with a new system that is going to hold teachers accountable 100% for the students' performance, I think is really wrong-headed and overbearing. If teachers can't do the impossible, Christie wants to cut their pay or eliminate their jobs altogether. Christie is part of the party that just hates public education. They vilified it for a long time. He doesn't value teachers at all. President Obama thinks America needs to treat teachers a heck of a lot better.
One of the things I want to do is lift up the teaching profession to honor it the way it needs to be honored in our society. And by the way, when I travel to China, for example, and I sit down with the mayor of Shanghai, and he talks about the fact that teaching is considered one of the most prestigious jobs, and a teacher is getting paid the same as an engineer. That I think, accounts for how well they're doing in terms of boosting their education system.
Who do you think understands the problem better, Chris Christie or President Obama? Ultimately, I think Chris Christie is trying to bully public school teachers to build his credentials towards a higher office. Today, he was the featured speaker for House Republicans on Capitol Hill. How cute. If Republicans take his lead on public education, America will fall even farther behind than other countries. By the way, do we want to compete with China? Republicans want to privatize the public school system and make a profit on your kids' future. That's not the country I grew up in. I think Chris Christie, the governor of New Jersey, is public enemy #1 to school teachers in his state and dangerous to the rest of the country when it comes to the value of public education. You see, the conservatives view it this way. The more we can vilify something, the heck of a lot easier it's going to be to cut. Just cut your way into a profit. Let's check on Christie's background. Let's see here. He was a lawyer, he was a lobbyist, and a Wall Streeter. Is this the new expert on education reform in America? Mr. Christie, have you ever taught a class? I'd like to know. It doesn't say anything in your background that you have. Maybe you have. I don't know. Have you ever done anything administratively with public schools in America? And let me address this tenure issue, if I may, my friends. This is the easy target. Oh, you've been around too long. You're not getting the job done. You want to go down the road of the tenure issue, you're going to turn political real quick in the local school district because it is all about the money. Because someone's been on a job too long, we got to get rid of them, bring in the young kid for a much cheaper price instead of paying somebody $85,000 a year who has earned it and earned the pension. It's just a heck of a lot easier to bring somebody in at $38,000 a year. You know, they're got better blood, they're fresh taught, you know, just out of college, and they're a cheaper cut. They've got so much enthusiasm and they're willing to work afterwards. You know, this is a culture that is permeating through every profession in this country. If we can get it cheaper, it's just going to be a hell of a lot better. I don't buy that. And I don't think American families buy that. And I really think that we do a disservice for not standing up for minorities and asking them. Mr. Christie, I'm curious. I'm just asking the question. Have you gone into the economically challenged neighborhoods and asked the parents of the teachers that you were going to cut, what would you like us to do in the public school system? Have we gone really into the devil in the detail as to who these thousands of teachers are that we cut? Did we cut any good ones, or was it all about the money and merit pay? Well, what do you say we have merit pay for politicians? Let's see how many great teachers Mr. Christie can turn out under this new plan, and let's judge his salary on that, since he's America's new expert on public education. Get your cell phones out, folks. I want to know what you think. Tonight's text survey question is, do you think Republicans care more about saving money than educating kids? Text A for yes, text B for no to 622-639. We'll bring you the results later on in the show. Joining me now is Maryann Woods-Murphy, New Jersey's Teacher of the Year and strongly against Governor Christie. Maryann, what do you make of this PR tour that this man has taken all over the country? What has he done in New Jersey, in your opinion?
Well, right now, teachers in my state are really feeling horrified because the emotional toll that this is taking, the attack on education, the attack on public school teachers and our representatives through our association is really, really insulting and upsetting to us. The people down in Trenton are our elected representatives, and we appreciate their efforts, and we're sorry that this is happening.
How many teachers have been cut in the state of New Jersey?
Well, we've had over 10,000 educational professionals cut in New Jersey, and this is horrifying. This means larger class sizes, programs that are cut. This is a terrible devastation for our state.
You think it's all about the money?
Well, I think that the money has made it difficult for us to retain these positions, but I also note that there's a hostile tone, which is unnecessary completely. It baffles me, and it hurts me and my colleagues. I don't understand why we have this tone in an atmosphere when we're looking for synergy between parents, teachers, students, administration to create the education for the 21st century. That's what we want.
Does it offend you that Governor Christie seems to be, in his speech speeches that he's giving that he's just broad brushing.
Absolutely.
Throwing all the teachers in there. They're all bad, and we're going to get your pension, and we're going to have a new system of evaluation. What about that?
Absolutely. I'm horrified by that, and also it seems kind of ironic when Commissioner Duncan, Secretary Duncan, just put out an initiative yesterday to recruit new teachers. We're going to need so many new teachers with the baby boomers retiring. So at the very moment when we need to be thinking about ways to recruit, attract, and retain new teachers, young people all over are saying, why would I want to go into this field? We're hearing such terrible things. People are not appreciating our work.
Maryann, quickly, the tenure system in New Jersey, are teachers evaluated? Do they have to meet certain standards, or do they just check the carotid artery and say, hey, you've been around for a while, we're going to give you a raise?
Yes, teachers certainly do more than breathe to get a job. Teachers work very hard and are evaluated systematically by their administrators on a regular basis. Many schools have walkthroughs which ascertain on a daily basis how teachers are doing. Teachers are working hard to keep their jobs and working hard for the children.
Maryann Woods-Murphy, thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate your time, and congratulations on being New Jersey's Teacher of the Year.
Thank you so much.